Did they really think they could come for our boy Yoongi like that and get away with it? Okay, here we go. My 2 cents that no one asked for about the Min Yoongi situation that all went down, the chaos that ensued on the internet. All right, it's just troubling to see how many people want to tear this person or just really anyone down. Like, and I'm not just saying like tear down as in like call not nice names. I mean like damage their livelihood, ruin their careers, never wanting them to see like any sort of happiness ever again. Like dragging their name, their identity, their character through the mud. Like really not cool stuff. It's like, what propels people to do this? You know, that's sort of like what I'm left with after following along. You know, and I was going to actually make a video a few days ago. I'm happy I checked out some more footage the other day where I saw new footage released was that, you know, Yoongi here was on his e-bike driving at a very slow speed, maybe a slow jogging pace, wearing a helmet, very close to his house. So it was a short distance on the sidewalk. And, you know, turns out the whole situation was way less severe than everyone else made it out to be. And, you know, it's really a shame. Like the Korean media and the, I guess, antis, as you would call them, came down in such a nasty way. So I'm here just to say I have Yoongi's back. I'm coming out in full support. I was in full support of him last week. Now, that doesn't mean me or Army condone driving under the influence. It doesn't mean we can't acknowledge that a mistake was made. It just means we still support him. That's really it. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, people make mistakes. Suga will be the first person to tell you that he's flawed. And, you know, just like a family member or friend who slips up or makes a mistake, that doesn't mean we're going to abandon them. And that doesn't mean they deserve to be punished and their livelihood be destroyed. Not even close. But my thought process was this. Army has Yoongi's back. We're there to support him. And that's all that really matters. All this additional noise doesn't really mean anything when he has the platform, which is us. Like, we're in control. We have the power. And what we say goes. And we say, we support our boy, right? And that's what it comes down to, right? All the other noise and all the other madness, when you really think about it, it's just noise. But we play into it. And I don't blame people for kind of getting involved. Like when we see someone that we care about being disparaged in that way and just lies being made up about him and horrible things being said, yeah, of course, people are going to run to his defense and protect him like you would anyone you care about. So I understand why people are being dragged into this. And that's, you know, what we're seeing online is this war. You know, these people, I think most of them are just, you know, looking for an outlet. It's their own kind of anger. It's their own sort of sadness or loneliness or insecurities that they're projecting, in this case, onto Yoongi. You know, that's really what it is. Anyone who's looking to tear someone down like that. And, you know, people might say, listen, he did something wrong and justice needs to be served. You know, we're not trying to tear anyone down. We're just taking like the morally right stance here and he needs to be punished, etc., etc., etc. We know the deal. And we know that all the sort of like, you know, virtue signaling and the moral superiority and the righteousness, we know the underlying tone of it all. And the underlying tone of it all is, I want to take you down. I don't like you. The underlying tone is envy and anger, and it's under the guise of this moral kind of play. Listen, the psychology behind it is interesting because it gives people a sense of power and righteousness and purpose, and it makes them feel strong. It makes them feel like they're in the right. Maybe they get attention from it. So there's an appeal to taking someone down, right? You ever heard of the saying, don't blow out someone else's candle to make yours shine brighter? That's essentially what's happening here. And lastly, it's just like these standards for these idols are so high and they're expected to meet these really high standards. But I think these high standards are really only coming from a small minority of people. the majority of Army, the majority of fans really don't hold these idols to this really high standard. They don't. We don't hold Army to a high standard. Listen, if we saw one of the guys at a nightclub photographed with a girl, even smoking a cigarette, I don't think people would really care. The vast majority of people wouldn't really care. I don't think the vast majority of Army holds these guys to a really high standard. It's just really the media and these, antis and maybe a small subsect of certain fans. So it's like, what do we do? I don't know. But it seems like these companies still, like Big Hit, are kind of appeasing this small subsect of fans, or they're appeasing the media because they feel like they need the media as well, and they're scared of the repercussions, maybe socially and economically as well. I'm not really sure. But what I do know is the majority of us don't hold these guys to such a high standard. And there needs to be a point where companies say, hey, these guys don't have to follow these high standards anymore. They just don't have to, and we're not giving in to your shit. We're not giving in to the high standards that you're setting for them anymore. And that's it. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. We're all susceptible to making mistakes. I think we all know that. And I'm just happy to see that the support is in Yoongi's corner. I hope he's doing okay. I hope he's not feeling too guilty about this whole thing. He apologized, and he took accountability, and that's really all you can ask from the dude. So at the end of the day, I got his back. I know you do too. And talk to you soon. Peace.